Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. We are Millennial Mom. If you don't know who is who, I'm Millennial. This is Mom.
Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, I'm Mom or Kay from Millennial Mom, and today I'm talking about part 2 of the 90-Day Fiancé The Other Way, Season 7, Episode 2, and it's finally the finale. We only get 2 episodes of finale, which is great because you know what? Usually the finale is like 4 or 5 episodes. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So it's Inky and Corona again. We have Sean and Joanne. We've got Josh and Lily and Matalia or Tata and James and Shekinah and Sarper. So that's who's on the tell-all part 2. But we're going to start with Inky and Corona. We're actually going to pick back up with Inky and Corona because you know what? Inky is just tired of everything that Corona is dishing out. She's been on stage talking about, you know what, giving him the finger, telling him, you know, you're not a real man. You didn't really love me, just going in on Inky. And then you even have Sean, who's with Joanne, going in on Inky too, talking about, man, if you were here, you know, I would like get at you pretty much. I'm like, where is this animosity coming from for Sean with Inky? I mean, that don't even go together. You know what I'm saying? You have your own issues about your families knowing or not knowing about your relationship with Joanne. Well, anyways, after the cast breaks, they go backstage, and one of the people who suggests to talk to Inky to maybe bring him back on the tell-all just to finish up the scene with Corona is Sarper. So I'm like, how does Sarper have Inky's number to FaceTime? And then why wouldn't production FaceTime Inky if they really wanted him back on the stage? So Sarper ends up FaceTiming Inky, and I guess it was from his phone. I don't know, maybe production, whatever. But Inky says, you know what? I'm good. I said everything I had to say, and I don't want to be bothered anymore. And so Sarper was like, understand, no problem. And he did have production, Mini Sarper, backstage filming the entire FaceTime call. So when the cast breaks to come back on to finish filming the tell-all, so, you know, Sean, the host, gets into it, and she's like, so, you know, do you think Inky's going to come back on? And the answer was no, of course, but then she said for the first time ever, we had a guest who was not going to return. I'm thinking, really? I could think of a few times where people have walked off the tell-all. For example, like you have an Angela from like Angela and Michael and just different people as the seasons have gone along. And maybe they came back, but I do believe a few have walked off and didn't come back because they didn't want to. And technically they did their scene. And why do they have to be bothered with like verbal harassment from anybody? That's just me, right? So then Corona's family comes out. You have her mom, her sister, and her grandma. Now, we met them briefly when Corona was first introduced to the franchise, before she was saying she's going over to Iceland. And so, you know, the grandma, the mom, and sister was like, girl, why are you going to do that? You know, how many Black people is in Iceland, right? She's like 5. And, you know, the consensus was, let me do my face. But anyways, so the thing about Corona too is she had just graduated from a midwife or advanced nursing program, and she wanted to go on to be a midwife. And so she finally got into her dream school, which was Penn State. Well, she forego going into Penn State, which they only accept a few people a year. And she said again that she's tried several times to go to Iceland, hoping she could get into a program in Iceland. But then again, Corona didn't do the research to find out if they had the same type of program, what type of credits would be transferred over. Because guess what? There was no such program. So she gave up Penn for the love of Inky, who to me wasn't really into her like that. Anyways, Corona was more pushy. But back to her mom, grandma, and sister coming out. You know, they had a real problem with Corona, yes, but they also had a problem with Inky. Inky has come over to the States twice, And Corona let us know that she paid for it or whatever. But, to get to know her family before they took the next step to possibly getting married. And the grandma thinks that Inky is lame. The sister thought the same thing. And the mom went in on Inky too. Like, how can you love someone, but you don't have her back? It seemed like, putting her down, just whatever they were saying. They just weren't a fan of Inky. But I'm like, you weren't definitely a fan of Corona's choices either. And is it just me? And I'm not talking about nobody's outfit in particular, but mom in that red dress needed a bra or just a little bit of a lift in that outfit. I'm just saying, I'm not saying she didn't look okay, but just, for national TV or whatever. So, I mean, nothing really got resolved. We just heard Corona with her side of the story, when Inky was there or not. She was constantly rolling her eyes and just like it's everyone else's fault but hers. But I think she didn't show enough accountability in her actions with Inky. Okay. So let's move on. Let's go to Sean and Joanne. So apparently Sean's visa from Ireland has been approved. So he is over here, well, in New Jersey or in the States anyways, with Joanne. Sean said that his visa was originally denied a few times because he overextended his stay in the United States. So he was denied when he tried to come over after him and Joanne got married. So he's here now. And one of the things about their relationship is they have kept it a secret from Joanne's children, her two boys. I think the oldest was, at the time of taping, was like 18 or 19, and the youngest was like 10. And Sean's daughter, who's about 10, 11 herself, 10, 11, 12, in a preteen in that area, right? And so to me, their journey, I mean, even though Joanne explained it, and Sean too, but mainly Joanne, explained it that they wanted to be just them and experience the moment for them, and everything is for them. And I'm like, okay, but you still should have told the kids and not told the kids way later. How do you expect people to trust you? And you know, especially your children, that you're making the right choice for yourself and right choice and for us too. And then just throwing on like, oh, this isn't just your boyfriend. This is your husband that you've been sneaking off back and forth. Now, Sean's daughter, when we saw her during the season, you know, she wasn't a fan of her dad getting married to anybody else if she didn't know. You know, she was okay with him having a girlfriend, but at the same time, she seemed like she's a little bit weary because Sean is a single father. Joanne is a single mother. However, her boys have a relationship with her ex-husband, you know, their dad. So they have that. So they really still have both parents in their life. I don't know where Sean's daughter's mother is. I think she had some issues going on. So it's a different type of, you know, when you have a young girl, you know, versus young boys. I know they're still your children, but I mean, Sean and his daughter's relation dynamic is different than Joanne's, if you know what I mean. If you do, drop it in the comments. But the bottom line is, not just the kids didn't know they were married, the family didn't know either. So Sean brought on Joanne's mom, and I'm here to tell you that Joanne is a twin of her mom, and she will look exactly like that, how she's looking now, in a few years. So if Sean wants to know how Joanne will age, because there's a bit of an age difference between Joanne and Sean, with Joanne being older, just look at her mom. So her mother, Donna, came on the show, or tell all, and listen, Donna was upset. And I don't blame her, because I know that, you know, that's your daughter and she's your adult daughter, but still, you know, they said they have a good relationship. They're really close to everything. And she doesn't understand why Joanne would keep this from her. And Donna said she met Sean a total of 2.5 days. And even in that time period, like, nobody said nothing. I mean, again, it goes back to, yeah, we just want to keep things for us. But I mean, 2 years, how do you expect people to react after 2 years? Like, honestly, how do you think so? And so when Joanne is saying how, you know, she can't believe her daughter kept information from her, and she seemed like she was hurt. Now, she did have, I mean, we don't know her. It kind of seemed like maybe she had a slight attitude, but it was more coming from a hurtful place. And then Joanne sitting there a little bit cocky, sarcastic, like, okay, mom, so if anything happened, where were we supposed to live and all this other stuff? She's like, of course, with you, right? And I'm like, come on. Miss me. You have your own place with your kids and everything. all that was unnecessary for a lie that you kept. So you're upset that people are responding to your lie. You can't expect people to not feel a certain way once you have kept the lie. Like, come on now. So then Shekinah jumped in and was like, oh, I could see why she didn't tell you anything. You are, what'd she say? You were condescending or just, overstepping just like my mom would. So I get it. And so Donna, Joanne's mom, shut that down. She's like, Shekinah, I don't know you, but you as a mother ought to know how this feels because you have a young daughter, a 15-year-old coming up. How would you feel if she did that to you? So how can you pull my mom card? And when you are going back and forth to Turkey and traveling back and forth to see your daughter, basically saying you left the country for a man. And she kind of was like, oh, you want to pull that card? I'm like, yeah. Or you want to go there? Yeah, she went there. So she kind of is now upset because she's like, like you don't know me. Well, Donna said, you don't know me. So really, stay in your lane. And then Corona jumped in and was like, yeah, I mean, there's no reason why you would get upset when you came for her. And she kind of was like, no, she came for me. Here's the thing, Shekinah. If you can dish it, be able to take it. You came for that lady. She shut you down. And you most definitely went to Turkey, falling behind Sarper, who doesn't want to be in the States anyways, he told you, of a man, and left your daughter here. That's exactly what you did. So I don't even know what you are talking about or try to get into. But by the end of their segment, Shekinah apologized to Joanne after Joanne explained that, yeah, her and her mom are close and she understands why she would be upset. Now, also, too, during their segment, it was found out that Joanne has not even told her father that she was married yet. And Donna said, it's not my place to tell your dad that you're married. And I agree. So then Joanne started to break down to say that her dad would internalize everything. And so, he's not as rah-rah as her mom. He just would break down and be like, why didn't you tell me? And then Joanne's mom said, that's because you're his baby. But at the same time, it's like, so your kids know, your mom knows, and your aunts know, and somehow your dad still don't know. A whole mess. So Sean and Joanne seem like they're in it for the long haul, at least for now. They did say that they were going to have a ceremony eventually up for everyone to participate, but this ceremony would take place in Ireland. So if you don't have the cash to get on a plane for Ireland, you're not going to be part of the ceremony. I was like, girl, is that like a promise? All right, let's move on. Okay, so next we're going to go to Shakina and Sarper. After Joanne and Sean's segment went off, all the cast went backstage for a break and have a little bit of lunch or whatever. And so Shekinah and Sarper are eating whatever little health meals they're eating, right? We don't see exactly what they're eating, but everyone's eating backstage. And all of a sudden they have like these 2 sticks of butter. Now, last week they explained that they eat butter. That's part of their new nutrition. It's high protein or whatever. And I was like, girl, okay, whatever. Salted or unsalted. But anyways, so they have like a frozen or really cold hard piece of butter and they offer it to the cast members. So Corona said that she would taste one separately. And then James said he would too. So when James tasted it, he was like, oh, it's like butter ice cream. And then Corona tasted it and she was like, spit it back on her napkin. But either way, listen, if that's what they want to eat, whatever, that's what they want to eat. Now, after their break, they go back on the stage and then the host comes back out. And she said that, you know what? There's never seen before footage that we want to show. And it's actually with Sarper and Shekinah. And it was last week when Sarper's friend, Dee Dee, came on and said, yeah, she had a short fling with Sarper and, they still keep in contact and things like that. So there was never before seen footage. And we see Dee Dee just scrolling through her phone. There's all these messages going forward. And Dee Dee is a therapist. And so Sarper gets to explain that she kind of wanted him to see a therapist. And so he found a therapist. And that was Dee Dee. And then she kind of was like, yeah, I want you to see a therapist, but not one you were sleeping with. And then the conversation also got into was Shekinah and Sarper about her nose. And here's the thing. Shekinah let Sarper design her new nose that she has through cosmetic surgery. And so Sarper said, yeah, her nose looks better because I did it. And, she's in a different place now because before it was garbage. And she's like, what? Even the cat was like, garbage. So Shekinah backstage, he's called you a B word. And you're like, don't do that right now. I'm like, right now, don't ever call me the B word, right? And think we're ever going to be cool. And so now he's telling the cast in the world that he's taking you to a different place, and where you're going was garbage. He's telling you exactly how he feels about you. I mean, there would be no way to even clean that up, but Shekinah tries to save face, but whatever. And side note, those contacts that Shekinah has on to make her look like a leopard eyes or something, one of them are misaligned, miscentered. She just need to go ahead and take them out. It makes her look like she's from the circus. All right. Let's move to Josh and Lily. So listen, Lily's daughter came on to talk to Josh. Josh's brother came on too, but the bombshell was from Lily's daughter, who wants to know why Josh wasn't intimate with her mom, even except for she used the F-bomb. She want to know why he didn't, her mom, and this and that. And I'm like, first of all, coming on to tell your side of the story from what you know about Josh, how you met Josh, cool, fine, and dandy, but I think a little extra was put in place by her daughter by dropping the F-bombs and want to know why. I mean, really, that's not your business. If Lily and her daughter are that close, okay, but I mean, I'm not trying to be embarrassed on TV, even if it did happen or whatever. So anyways, Josh and Lily have had this type of relationship where money's always been an issue. Josh doesn't work. And on top of that, going to China, he can't work. That's China law. So Lily is an esthetician and she brings him money, but she's gone bankrupt on behalf of Josh for getting that house renovated, a 5-bedroom house. I mean, it's just them, no kids there at the house, and just all the expenses. And so that has taken a toll on the relationship back and forth through the season. And then it came out with the wedding details and different things like that. And so Lily explains that, her and Josh just weren't on the same page, and that she actually came because they got married in Las Vegas before she went back home to China. And so Lily explained that she came back to the States to help celebrate Josh's mom and dad's wedding anniversary. And so she said when she came, Josh had a problem with that. Like she was holding his hand too tight and she was saying the wrong thing. And they end up having an argument because Lily wants to be close with her husband. She wants to have a normal, healthy husband-wife relationship from A to Z, right? Well, apparently the argument got heated. I mean, nobody's surprised by this, that she ended up going to a hotel. Now, Josh denied these facts, and Lily was adamant. And so Lily said after that, when she flew home, 2 days later, she told Josh that she thinks that this marriage is over. And so Josh tried to explain that, one, the events didn't happen the way it did. He loves Lily, and there's no way that he would just, treat her a certain way. But at the same time, he's like, but how can I be intimate with my wife when all I hear is, I'm being like beat down and berated, not beaten down physically, but berated of all the things I'm not doing, for her or with her. And I just can't be in the mood. And I mean, Josh is just full of excuses. And on top of that, Josh has been married a few times and is starting to come across as if this is Josh's thing to be a kept man. Anyways, that's just me. All right. Finally, we have James and Matalia or Tata. I mean, really a lot of extra drama didn't happen on part 2. It all happened on part 1. There wasn't a whole lot of crying from Tata this time. But the thing is that we saw clips of her sitting down with her sister in, where's she from? Indonesia, saying that, yeah, she saw Josh on his phone, that he likes to look at women dancing in bikinis, and she feels like that's cheating. And, the sister co-signed, yeah, that's cheating. I mean, it might be emotionally cheating if well, no, because you have to talk to somebody. It depends on your definition of cheating, right? So Matalia thinks that she can't trust James because she don't know what he will do. And on top of that, she's even seen him looking at the videos when he was using the bathroom, regardless of what he was doing. And then Sarper was like, how do you know? You got cameras in there? Because I was thinking the same thing, like, how do you know, right? Are you sitting next to him, or how's this going on? And then James said, it's not cheating because I'm just looking. And I guess Matalia's point again is, if you're going to look, maybe you touch. I don't know. So, I mean, again, it's your definition of cheating or not. Now, backstage, it came up with, what happened after the tell-all, all that, because that was really it with James and Matalia. This part 2 tell-all was really quick. Not a whole lot happened, just like a little bit of filling parts of the part 1 tell-all we didn't get, because really they could have ended it on part 1. But backstage, they were talking, James, Matalia, Corona, and I forget who else we're talking, but saying, so if you think James is cheating, have you ever thought about watching adult entertainment together? And Matalia goes, yeah, And James goes, what? Oh, no, this is the first time I ever heard about that. This is news to me. So Matalia didn't say anything, and I believe James that this is news to him. And to be honest, I think that James doesn't necessarily want to, just like Josh, doesn't necessarily want to be as intimate with Matalia, because Matalia wants to have children, and whether there's any protection being used or not, I don't think he wants to get caught up like that. So he does other things to help him out. I mean, that's just me. What do y'all think? And then finally, after everyone leaves for the tell-all, it's over, wrapped up finale. Then we have James coming back to the stage, talking to Lily. And apparently they come to a terms of, you know what, I'm sorry too. I love you. I just want to hug you. Can we work it out? So after all that said on stage, after all that with her daughter, after all that, rank your marriage a 3 from last week, and all this back and forth like they usually do all season long, they're back to, I love you. I miss you. I can't wait to be with you. Miss me with that. So, all right, everyone, what do you think about the part 2? Thank you so much. If you got this far, I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you coming back for the tell-all. And don't forget to watch the 90-Day the Other Way. I'm live on Tuesdays for that, and also Married at First Sight. So, okay, everyone, thank you again for watching. Oops, don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share. And until next time, everyone, live simply, be grateful.